The room inside Buckingham Palace was supposed to be controlled, private, and silent. But according to this dramatic royal account, what happened behind those palace doors became one of the most humiliating moments of Queen Camilla's public life. Because this was not just a disagreement, not just a family argument, and not just another royal rumor. This was the moment Camilla allegedly watched Catherine, Princess of Wales, receive a powerful legacy that Camilla believed should have stayed within her own reach. And when the decision became impossible to stop, the situation reportedly spiraled so badly that King Charles had no choice but to make a devastating signal. The guards stepped forward, the Queen was escorted out, and the door closed behind her. Before we go deeper, if you enjoy powerful royal stories told with respect, emotion, and real dramatic detail, please subscribe to the channel. It helps us continue bringing you these royal breakdowns, and you will not miss what happens next. According to this account, the meeting began like any serious royal discussion. King Charles was seated at the center, carrying the weight of both family and monarchy. Around him were senior figures, private officials, and members of the royal circle gathered to discuss the future of the Kent family's patronages and legacy. Queen Camilla was there beside him, fully aware that these conversations were not just about charity names on paper. In royal life, patronages are influence. They are visibility. They are proof of trust. And when a major royal legacy changes hands, it sends a message about who matters now and who may matter even more in the future. Then there was Prince Edward, the Duke of Kent, a senior royal figure connected to decades of quiet service. According to the report, he entered this meeting with a purpose that nobody in the room could easily challenge. He was not there to negotiate power. He was there to honor the final wishes of his late wife. And sitting quietly nearby was Catherine, Princess of Wales, calm, controlled, respectful, but impossible to ignore. Because Catherine is not simply another royal figure. She is the future queen. She is one of the most admired women in the monarchy. And every time responsibility moves toward her, it reminds the palace that the future is slowly shifting away from the old order and toward William and Catherine. That is why this meeting was already tense before Prince Edward even revealed the decision. According to the dramatic account, Edward cleared his throat and announced that a major portion of the Kent family's charitable legacy, patronages, arts work, and public service responsibilities would be transferred to Catherine. He made it clear that this was not a casual recommendation. This was connected to his late wife's final wishes. Catherine reportedly accepted the moment with dignity. She did not celebrate. She did not act victorious. She simply lowered her head with respect, understanding that this was not a prize, it was a duty. But Camilla's reaction was completely different. According to the report, her expression changed almost immediately. Her hands tightened, her gaze froze, her body language shifted from formal control to visible strain. Because for Camilla, this was not just about Catherine receiving work. It was about Catherine receiving trust. And that trust cut deep. Camilla had spent decades trying to secure her place beside King Charles. She had endured public judgment, comparisons, criticism, and the long shadow of Princess Diana's memory. After all of that, she finally reached the title of queen. But now, inside a private royal meeting, she was allegedly watching a powerful emotional legacy pass directly to Catherine. Not to her, to Catherine. And perhaps the most painful part was King Charles's silence. According to the account, Camilla looked toward him, expecting him to intervene, question the decision, or at least slow the process. But Charles did not stop Prince Edward. He did not protect Camilla from the emotional blow. His silence reportedly made one thing clear. The king already knew, and the king had accepted it. That was the moment Camilla allegedly understood that the decision was not open for debate. And that is when the room changed. The report claims Camilla rose from her chair, breaking the stillness of the meeting. The sound of the chair moving back reportedly cut through the chamber, and every eye turned toward her. Courtiers sat stunned. Charles looked troubled. Catherine remained composed. Prince Edward stayed still. Camilla allegedly began challenging the decision directly. She questioned why such an important legacy should be passed to Catherine. She reportedly spoke about fairness, service, sacrifice, and her own position as queen. To her, every major responsibility given to Catherine felt like another sign that her own influence was shrinking. And that is what made the confrontation so dangerous. Because Camilla was not only reacting to one announcement, she was reacting to years of pressure, years of comparison, years of knowing that Catherine's popularity was rising, while her own role depended heavily on Charles remaining at the center. But Prince Edward did not meet her anger with anger. According to the account, he remained calm, almost painfully calm. And when he finally responded, his message was simple. This was not about giving favors, playing politics, or insulting Camilla. This was about fulfilling the exact final wishes of his late wife. That answer reportedly struck the room with enormous weight, because once Edward framed the decision as a dying woman's final wish, Camilla's protest became almost impossible to defend. Arguing against Catherine was one thing. Arguing against the final wishes of the late Duchess of Kent was something far more delicate. Then, Edward allegedly went even further. According to the report, he reminded the room of a painful moment connected to his late wife's funeral. He pointed toward the difference between title and action. He suggested that Catherine had stepped forward with compassion and dignity when it mattered most, while Camilla had not shown the same presence. That was the emotional blow Camilla could not easily answer. Because in royal life, showing up matters. Public duty is not just about crowns, titles, or seating positions. It is about presence in moments of grief. It is about who stands beside a family when the cameras are not the point. It is about who carries responsibility quietly when there is nothing glamorous to gain. And according to this account, Catherine had done exactly that. Camilla's face reportedly changed. The anger began to turn into humiliation. The room could feel that the argument was slipping away from her. But Prince Edward was not finished. He allegedly reached into his jacket and placed a carefully preserved envelope on the table. Inside, according to the report, was a handwritten letter from his late wife, a letter bearing her signature, her instructions, and her final wishes. That letter reportedly confirmed that Catherine was the one chosen to carry the legacy forward. In that moment, the meeting became almost impossible for Camilla to control, because emotion could not defeat written proof. Anger could not erase a final instruction, and personal status could not overrule a legacy willingly entrusted to Catherine. According to the account, even King Charles acknowledged the seriousness of the document. The room reportedly fell into a heavy silence as everyone understood what the letter meant. Camilla had no clear path left, and that is when the situation allegedly broke apart. The report claims Camilla lost the composure expected in such a setting. Her voice rose. Her emotions became impossible to hide. She allegedly accused the decision of being a betrayal and suggested that she was being pushed aside inside the very palace where she had fought so long to be accepted. Charles tried to calm the situation. According to the account, he raised his hand more than once, silently warning her to stop before the moment became impossible to repair. But Camilla allegedly kept pushing. She moved toward the documents, unwilling to accept that the decision had already been made. And that is when Charles reportedly reached his breaking point. He closed his eyes for a moment, gathered himself, and made the signal. The guards stepped forward, not with violence, not with drama, but with the cold formality of palace protocol. According to the report, palace staff stepped forward and quietly blocked Camilla's path before escorting her from the meeting room. The atmosphere reportedly turned silent. No one spoke, no one moved, because everyone understood what they had just witnessed. This wasn't an ordinary disagreement. It was the king's wife being asked to leave a royal meeting after unsuccessfully challenging Catherine's new role. According to the account, King Charles remained composed despite the tension. Setting personal emotions aside, he returned to the official business before him. He reviewed the final document, gave a quiet nod to the royal secretary, and signed his approval. With that signature, Catherine officially became the custodian of a major network of Kent family charities, arts organizations, and veteran support initiatives. According to the story, Camilla's objections had changed nothing. If anything, they highlighted Catherine's calmness under pressure. Then came the moment that gave the ceremony its deepest emotional meaning. Prince Edward reportedly stepped forward, carrying a small, deep blue velvet box. Inside was a sapphire and diamond brooch that had belonged to his late wife, a treasured family heirloom, symbolizing loyalty, memory, and trust. He presented it to Catherine, and she accepted it respectfully with both hands. According to the report, it wasn't received as a prize or a victory. It was accepted as a promise to continue the work and values that had been entrusted to her. Rather than responding to controversy, Catherine reportedly focused on her new responsibilities immediately after the meeting. She began preparing for her charitable work, veterans organizations, and public service commitments, reinforcing the image she has built over the years one of quiet dedication rather than public confrontation. According to the narrative, that steady approach only strengthened public confidence in her future role within the monarchy. The story claims Camilla's experience was very different. After leaving the meeting, she reportedly withdrew from public view, carrying the disappointment of seeing the transfer approved despite her objections. Within this account, the confrontation had ended, but the tension had not. According to the narrative, while Catherine quietly moved forward with her new responsibilities, Camilla's frustration only deepened, setting the stage for an even larger conflict behind palace walls.